everybody. Just sitting down to make a map real quick for Roll20. Just do a little basic tutorial about how to make a map very quickly. Just get started, you got to be logged into Roll20, you got to be in as a GM, and you have to have a map made. And drop down my map selection menu. Going to go to create new page. I already have one made up, so let's go there. Alright, so you start off making a map, you got to make a background. So what you might do is go into your art tool and type in ground, sometimes grass, stone, whatever you want the background of a page to be. You get these tiles and you can plop them down, and you can just sort of put down as many as you want, or you can blow one up. And the more you use, the smaller they are, the better it's going to look. But honestly, that's very time consuming. So let's do something easy. Alright, let's go to our old friend, Mr. Google. Type in Roll20. Let's do battle maps, and then we go with a laboratory because I have a mad scientist character who could use a laboratory, but you know, you could do a castle or a forest or you know, whatever kind of map you're trying to build. Let's see if we can find one that's not too detailed, has something that we could, okay, that's not bad. Blow this guy up. Yeah, that's not bad at all. A lot of detail, a lot of space to work with, some nice effects around the map. Let's stick with this guy. Alright, so we're going to go into our files and we're going to pull the map, just drag it right on to Roll20. Just gonna let that upload for a second. Alright, and I like to leave a 1 square border around my maps so that I have a place to sort of hide stuff, kind of use as a palette. It's really useful as a GM to have this 1 square border. Alright, what's next? I like to sort of plan my maps out. First, you're going to right click on the map, you're going to go to layer, and you're going to select map layer. That's going to add these grid lines that you can see. So I'm going to push the map to the back. I like to plan things out. So let's go to the GM overlay. That lets me just do sort of whatever I want without interfering with anything. So what's going to be in my mad scientist laboratory? I'm thinking he does a lot of experiments. So there's going to be like big tubes and vats just sort of holding the stuff that he's working on. Various experiments will just be in here. Later on we could add tubes sort of connecting these things. I hope this stuff's showing up. I'm noticing now there's a watermark right here. So why don't we put a few shelves just to cover that up. These shelves that just have various science-y stuff in them. I'm thinking he's got like a hospital bed type thing right here. Maybe a table to keep his things. Very important, I want to give him some consoles. Why does my scientist need consoles? That's where he keeps his self-destruct button. Alright, and then maybe one small table here, something over here just to fill the room out. Alright, not too bad. Before we start grabbing those things, let me go to dynamic lighting. This is going to affect what you can see in the map. And I'm drawing the dynamic lighting border, and this is basically going to show where light ends, and it's going to prevent players from basically being able to see through walls, which is going to be useful for me as a DM. See? If you wanted to end this line early like I'm about to do here, you're going to right click, and you can just click again to start a new line. Just going to go like this real quick. Alright, just about finished. Right click, and I'm also going to add a line here to sort of separate out this stairwell. That way my players have a way to come into the map, and it'll be kind of mysterious as they're sort of walking in. We're going to leave that there. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line at the 4 corners to separate my palette area from the rest of the map, and that just closed by itself. Not too bad. Alright, let's go into picking some stuff out for the map. Alright, so if I want vats, I'm not going to find anything quite that specific, so why don't we try pools from an overhead perspective? They might look good. Perfect. So let's grab this guy and put him there. Let's grab one more model, put it there. And I really like this one. So you're going to grab the edges of these things, and if you pull on the edges, they blow up a bit. So let's do that. Normally in a more detailed map, I would look for more of these guys, but since this is just kind of a tutorial, why don't we just copy paste this guy into all of them, and you guys will just sort of get the idea that I'm going for here. And like I said, I might add some more decoration and tubes and things like that connecting and make it look a bit more sciencey later on. Let's grab him bed, something you might see in a hospital. Actually don't like any of these. Nope, that kind of works. Let's throw that guy in. Alright. That's perfect. What else might we see? Speaking of see, why don't we just stop for a second and let me show you can set up a map. You can go up here, select page settings, and you want to go to disable fog of war. And here in the dynamic lighting, you want to enable, enforce line of sight, only update on drop, and restrict movement. Down here you can select a song that will play when the map loads. That's usually not a bad idea. Load that up. Let's grab a table. Grab a few tables, actually. It's kind of empty in here. Okay, and okay, I like that guy. Let's throw him over there for that. That looks kind of interesting. Let's throw that in there. And then I always, when I can, try to grab my old friend, Mr. Turned Over Table. Hopefully I can find him. So, oh, there he is. I love Mr. Turned Over Table because you just see him and immediately he tells a story of what happened in this room, you know? Just makes the map a little more interesting. So grab this corner here to sort of make it longer than it is tall and just put it down right there. Great. All right, I think that's everything but my shelves in my console. So let's grab shelves. Let's see what we got. Not bad. Let's grab that guy. That guy's great. One more. That's fine. Okay, let's blow this guy up first, and immediately I can see he's kind of turned in a direction I don't like, so I'm going to grab this little tab up here and rotate him around, pull him in here. This one's kind of got a weird shape to him. That's not bad, actually. Let's make it a little bit longer. Perfect. Grab this guy here, make him a little longer, blow him up. Okay, those shelves work. Let's go get more consoles. That looks nice. And I like that guy too. So let's throw those guys in there. And this will just be a kind of place for him to run the laboratory from. Make this kind of long and rotate it in like that. Perfect. A little better. All right, last thing is I want to put in a lighting source. So I'm going to look for some fire. There are thousands of fire effects, so it might take you a while to find something you exactly like. I don't like any of this stuff. That works. It's like a little fireplace or something. So I'm going to blow that up and maybe make it a little wider. I'm going to put it right in the center of the room. And I'm going to double click on it, go to advanced. I'm going to put in my lighting effect. It's going to be 150 and all players see light. That's the light radius, that's the dim light radius. Save the change. And look at that, the whole laboratory is sort of lit up. At this point now I'm just going to go in and clean up all the lines I made in the GM layer. And I'm just going to drag across the map. Delete everything. So you can see it's got a pretty basic laboratory going at this point. So let's fill the laboratory up. Who's going to be in here with us? Got to start with our mad scientists. Okay, that'll work. There's my guy. Put him right there at the top of the stairs, and you can see he's perfect. What else is in a mad scientist laboratory? How about an assistant? What could we use? I like a homunculus. So let's try a homunculus. Yeah, I like that guy a lot. Okay, so we see have our homunculus, and again, he's perfect. What else would be in here? Well, I like some monsters, so why don't we see if we can find a decent zombie. That works out. So let's grab this guy, and I'm going to put him here in the corner of my map where my players can't see him, and I'm just going to actually just copy paste him into each of these squares near where one of these vats were, and then let's say something goes wrong with these vats, we might see our friends the zombies pop up. Not too bad. Let's just get like a generic monster in here. Who knows what we'll find. How about, why don't we do something like something like this guy. Just sort of have him up here in the palette, and two just in case. One more thing, why don't we put in a tree ant? Okay, I like this guy. I'm just going to throw him over here where the tree is and blow him up to be really big. And another great thing you can do with these guys is you can rotate them and then park them on the corner like this. Now the players won't even know he's there. That'll be another little surprise that we can add in if we want. One last thing that I want to do is I like to polish my maps and really make everything look interesting. So I'm going to drag across the whole map so I have everything selected. I'm gonna right click and I put them all into the map layer. Now I don't need to worry about them being interfered with while I'm running the map and making my players interact with things. Let's go to the polish. I like to put in some things like burn marks. This sort of just makes the level feel more like it's realistic. If you have stuff like this around, makes it feel like someone actually was here, kind of assists in telling the story of level design. What else could we put in? How about some... okay, I like that guy. Throw that guy in. Oh, I love this guy. Let's throw him in. That guy, and then as long as he's here, this thing will make things interesting. Anything else? How about maybe just some different grime effects, just to make it seem like it's a used laboratory, that something actually happens here. That's not dragging in. Let's grab this. Perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this stuff. I'm just going to drag it into the map. And let's see, I love a drag effect because it, again, just tells a story every time. Okay, I'm going to right click on it to make it into a drawing so it's not snapped to the grid or anything. I'm going to do that for all these guys actually. Just going to go advanced drawing. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my my bed and my table here. I'm going to make them drawings too. I'm going to right click, go to advanced, go to drawings. And what this lets me do is I can just sort of rotate them a little bit. They're not snapped to the grid anymore. It kind of makes it seem like it's not procedurally generated, like it's actually something that people would have put down. Let's see, just a little bit so it doesn't look so obviously computer generated. All right, objects like this guy, let's put him down here. All right, stretch that out a bit, rotate it into place. Perfect. This one I'm going to do something a little different with. I'm going to put this guy down here, and I'm just going to copy paste him all over the map, and that'll just give a lot more flavor to everything. Again, just sort of helps in telling the story of what happened in this room. Grab this one, which I'm definitely going to do that with. I'm going to put that guy there, and that mark, a mark. I'm going to put one right here on the stairs. Let's see. I like this guy, so maybe I'll blow him up a bit. Just make it seem like it's a little dirty over here. Okay. And let's just do the burn marks to wrap up. They'll just be around in random places. And it just makes it seem like something actually happened here. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm actually going to blow this one up because I really like these collapsed sections. It really makes it feel like it's like some kind of crazy scientist laboratory. And while they're at it, I always like to throw, in Dungeons & Dragons you can never go wrong with crystals. So let's, ooh, I like him. Let's throw him in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow that guy up. And I'm just going to put these guys here, and yeah, it just kind of seems weird that they're growing up right where this explosion was, and it kind of tells a story, even though I haven't actually written that story yet. Yeah, okay, so that's that is not a bad map. I'm going to grab my character, Lester the Tester. I'm going to drop him in. Lester the Tester is just a guy I use to test out the map and see if everything's working. So why don't we jump in and see what it looks like. Yeah, so I think this has been about 10 minutes, which is not bad if you want to put a relatively detailed map together like that. So now we're just going to see real quick what it's going to look like to my players, and then we'll know if there's anything we want to change, if there's any mistakes we want to edit. It's just going to take a minute to load up. Okay, just loading into Roll20 now. There we go. So we can see my character can't actually pass through these walls that are around him as he moves through the map, and you can see the The walls from the dynamic lighting effects prevent him from seeing any further, but the map is already illuminated because of the light source that I added. And yeah, it just it really screams mad scientist laboratory. And you can see the hole that I left in here actually allows him to look outside if he wants to. So, not too bad. If I were to spend a little more time, I might start putting some experiments into these vats, just different artifacts and characters. Yeah, not too bad. So, thanks everyone for watching.